Come and get it, everybody. Chiro Feast is online and we are ready to serve. Here's what's on the buffet today, you guys. This is going to be cool. We just recently had a boot camp and invited a tremendous friend of mine and a tremendous, fantastic chiropractor, Dr. Tony Lawther. He is truly a retention master. He is a marketing master. His practice has a PVA of 180. They see over 1,000 people a week. You know, he's just an incredible human. So I'm so excited to bring him to you. And here's where you're going today with this conversation with Tony. He figured out how to create a win-win-win relationship with fitness centers. Okay. If you are going after people that are health minded, fitness minded, they understand that they need to work out and they're willing to invest in it. Those are our people. I mean, those are some of our greatest people right there. And he figured out a way to get into these fitness centers. And it's a win for the owner of the fitness center. It's a win for the trainers of the fitness center. It's a win for the people that work out at the fitness center, and it's a win for the chiropractor that comes in and trains the trainers. That's where we're going. You're not going to want to miss this episode. You're going to want to listen to it twice and share this with some friends that are outside of your area, right? Because you don't want to be in the same gym talking to them, but share this with your friends so that they can learn this as well. So he's honest about what mistakes he made when he did this. He's only done it once, and he's just getting going. So this is just an honest, real, genuine conversation about building relationships and building win-win possibilities with your community. So enjoy this episode. Welcome to the boot camp here for the month of March. And I've been excited to talk about this, Tony. So let me just introduce you real quickly, and then maybe you can give a little bit of your background so people know who you are if they don't already know you. But this gentleman and I have become, I'm just going to call you a good friend, Tony, over the last probably what, 3 years, something like that, two,
Yep.
3 years. But honestly, I feel like we should have known each other. I know we've talked about this in the past. I feel like we should have known each other 20 years ago. Um, but we just somehow we just missed each other and just didn't connect. And now that we have, I am super grateful. I'm grateful for your friendship, grateful for our, to have you as a colleague, grateful that you're in our profession. I mean, truly, truly, um, uh, a great chiropractor, a great communicator. Dr. Tony Lawther has been on our stage at ChiroLife. And so we've had him on the stage there teaching about marketing. I love marketing because it's all about sharing our message. And if your message is worthy, then marketing should be a desire of yours. And Tony is very much like me in that way, except he's me multiplied by three. That's why he's got the backwards three. It's an E, which stands for Essentials of Life Chiropractic. So directly from Andover, Minnesota, Tony Lawther. Glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. I always love your intros. I I feel like I have to live up to whatever you say in the intro. So that one's gonna be tough though. That's appreciate the
Yeah.
words.
No, I don't think it's going to be hard because we're going to start talking about something. And you and I were chatting about marketing. I don't know. We were talking about something a couple months ago, and you talked about what you were planning on doing, and you hadn't done it yet. So this is the first time that we've chatted now since you gave a presentation at a fitness center. And as you were talking about what we were going to do, man, the light bulbs just went on above my head. And I'm like, this is genius. And everybody who's listening to this now, and those that are listening to this in the recorded version, you're going to have the same reaction. You're going to think to yourself, why did I never think of this? when Tony talks about this. And I'm hoping that we have a little bit of time today as well after you go through what you want to go through, and we have a chance to ask questions and talk about it, interact, that we can actually expand this even further
Hmm.
because the idea is genius. And it's anytime in business and in life, um, things should always be a win, 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 win.
Yeah.
However many people are involved in an endeavor, everybody needs to win. And so maybe I'll just kind of start off this by saying, um, how do we maximize the victories and the wins for everyone involved so that everybody gets something? And for those people that think that they're going to win bigger and win biggest, they need to be just be attorneys, because that's the way attorneys think. Okay, they just want to win and everybody else to lose.
Yeah.
They just want to win the biggest. You have to anytime you go into any kind of negotiation or any kind of a thing, you have to be okay with not getting everything in the negotiation. You're not going to get everything you want.
Right.
But if everybody gets something and nobody is hurt, then it's a win-win. That's just kind of the feeling or the flavor of the whole thing. So finding gems like this, I think is really what we should be looking for. So I think we'll probably spend a little bit of time expanding on that. But Tony, why don't you talk a little bit about we're going to just jump right into the meat of it. You had an idea or you thought of this. Give us a little bit of the background of how you came to work with the fitness center.
Well, two things. Firstly, I want to echo and amplify what you said. It is a message worth sharing. Um, I wholeheartedly believe chiropractic is a message worth sharing. If you really get chiropractic, it is a shame not to share it.
Mm.
It is withholding something that could drastically change the health and well-being of a community. So that's it. BJ said it all. Like, here, it is a sacred trust. Go forth and share this message with the world.
Yep.
And I take that seriously. So I will look for whatever way to do that. That being said, um, one of my favorite new books is Lencioni's The Working Genius book. And there's six working geniuses in any project. I have discovered that wonder and ideation are not mine. So they aren't. I have no idea actually how we got to this point in business. My wife looked at me. She's like, "How in the world did we get to this point? You're no good at coming up with ideas or even wondering about stuff." But I'm tenacious as one of them, and I'm galvanizing, and I can. Those are my gifts.
Yep.
When I see a good idea, I know it and I go with it. So actually, my credit goes to Amber on this one. So, but we have to back up a little bit. Ultimately, it's just building connections in your community. It's one of the basic ways we've grown this practice from nothing to where it is right now. We've always sought to get out in the community and build connections, and through connections come other connections and opportunities. And that's where you look to do. You look to create opportunities that are a win-win for people. I mean, we could that's the message right there is get creative or have if you're not the creative one on your team, then have someone who is creative on your team come up with ideas.
Right.
And Amber was following up last year after our trunk or treat. We do a trunk or treat at our office. We invite all of our wellness partners to come and have a trunk decorated, and there's like 800 to 1,000 people that come through in 2 hours to go around this. Weather assuming this is Minnesota, right? If it's snowing, no one comes. If it's a 60-degree day at the end of October, it is flooded. So, um, but one of them was this local fitness center that we were just kind of circling back with all the people that were there, getting feedback and stuff, and then looking if there's opportunities for us to add more value to them. Some of these became like lunch and learns or things like that. Uh, And originally, it's Crunch Fitness. Or Crunch Fitness was like, oh, you can just have like a table in our lobby, and I'm like, those are always stupid. I'm not doing that. It really people are coming there to get in and get out for the workout because I know that because I've been in the gyms my entire life. I'm going on 3 decades of gym goer. Like I don't want to talk to who's ever there.
Right.
I want to do my workout and go home. But and that was kind of going round and around and back and forth. And they're like, oh, you could put like a boot, like a just a table up with your information on it. And I'm like, no one's gonna look at that. Like I want to create actual impact value. So I'm about impact things. If I know something's gonna be a dud, and the only way you know it's a dud is because you've done it before, right? I've done this
Right. Right.
before. So Amber's like, what if we do, because we do a lot of like talks to communities. I got a peaks performance talk. I got a protecting young athletes workshop talk. I got all these talks we've designed to go do in the community. And she's like, well, what um, if you spoke to the trainers? Here's the deal. Trainers, hairstylists, dentists, they're brokers of people,
Yeah.
bartenders, although that might not be our market. But like they talk to people.
Yeah.
So if you can get the brokers that have the people, you might get the people. So I was like, oh, there's value there. Like I will come speak to that. And ultimately, again, like I mentioned, bartenders, like you have to figure out, are they in your circle of value? Like, is this something I can even provide value for? Because as much as we know chiropractic can benefit everyone with a spine and nervous system, there's a catch. There's the asterisk. If they actually value their health, that's a big asterisk that I had to learn a long time ago. I can talk to anybody and will, but if they don't value their health, I'm going to save my breath because I'd rather speak to the ones swimming towards the ship, right? That's who you go to save. And so obviously, if people are going to a personal trainer, they probably value their health. They want to get results. And I said, let's do a lunch and learn for the trainers. They every like couple weeks they had like an in-service. Um, and this is one of those things that I said yes to without actually asking a few more questions. Interestingly, discernment is another working genius from Lencioni, and I don't have that either. My wife does, but I don't. Um,
Well, and before you go on, I don't even know how this went for you. So we're being super vulnerable here and saying, look, this is a great idea. And I think Tony would agree to this. He can probably tell you, I would do these 3 or 4 things differently than I did. Because
yeah.
the first time you do anything, it's not going to be the best time you've ever done it. It's going to be the best and the worst, right? At
Yeah.
the same time. And so what you do is you do it once, and if you see some value in it and you think it's got some legs, then you improve on it. So I know we'll get to that too.
So first thing I should have asked, where are the actual locations where these trainers are training people?
Yes.
Turns out not many of them were actually around where we actually are.
Okay.
So the gym we went to was in Blaine, but they have other gyms, and these trainers were coming from other gyms that were a lot further away. I'm like, dang, I did not think about that. Um, so
Now, you can mention the name of the fitness center.
mhm,
What's the name of the center?
Crunch.
Crunch Fitness. Okay. And how many locations do they have in Minnesota and then the world or whatever? I don't know.
I don't know about World, but I think they have a few. I know for sure that predominantly they had at this meeting I was at, there was Blaine and Maple Grove, but I
Okay.
know there's others. I think we had maybe a few from that. So I was like,
And the
okay,
closest one to you is Blaine, is that correct?
by far.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. You know, I've learned just to market in your own area. I learned that the hard way too. You know, I
Yep.
got a great opportunity to go speak to a company that of a patient of ours that was in South Minneapolis. I'm like, why the hell did I drive down here?
Yeah.
Uh, there's no one driving up. I mean, what's the chance of someone anyway? I would say you have to have a chiropractor either by where you live or where you work because you go to those places a lot.
Right.
So anyway, um, should have asked, didn't, whatever. It was a lunch and learn. So the win was I like to buy people's time with food. So I brought in we have a really good I do a lot with Jersey Mike's. They do a great box of subs. It's not that expensive. You bring it in, it's good. They they loved it. They really appreciated it. I mean, they were these are and this was my group. I mean, I'm a former bodybuilder. Like these were all like younger bodybuilding dudes and ladies, and it was awesome. So they had their own sandwich, and they literally put ones in their pockets and brought it home for later. It was great. The other thing, and you've done a couple videos on this too. Like you show up for an event and you don't quite know what the setup's going to be.
Yep.
I should have sent. I have a picture. I should have sent it to you. The only place they had an area to hook up to a screen was in their biking room, their spin class room.
Okay.
Literally 30 bikes.
You're speaking to a bunch of bikes.
Yes. Like half of them were sitting on the bikes, half were sitting on the ground. And they were eating subs while sitting on a bike, and I had notes for them. Thankfully, they didn't have to take many notes because it was filled in for them.
Right.
But I'm like, and I'm sitting up there like aerobics instructor. All I needed was the headpiece with the foam mic that comes in front of my face.
And
That's
and
all.
those fancy bike shorts, those really tight bikes you should have. Yeah. No, no.
That's not allowed in my house, for me at least. So yeah, that would have been a sight. Uh, it's the only unfortunate thing is Amber, who's our marketing coordinator, is on maternity leave, and so she couldn't come. But she's like, "Oh gosh, I wish I could have seen this." And they didn't even have a table, so they had to go like find a table for me to put the food on and stuff, and it was
Yeah.
crazy. But
And these are a lot of details. I mean, and that's true of any kind of an event that any of you set up at any time
yes,
is know the place that you're going because man, there's nothing worse than showing up and having things just not go right like that. Now, Tony, you and I, we're scramblers and we
yeah,
just get stuff done. I mean, when we do team doc stuff, we're stealing tables from anywhere. I mean, we'll go anywhere and figure out a way to block people from leaving a meeting without walking right past you or having a table to write on. All those things we figure out a way, and we have to be aggressive. Don't ask for permission from anybody. Ask for forgiveness later if you have to, but you get it set up. But the more that you can do on the front end, okay,
yep.
and that's where an Amber comes in really handy, and a talented person like Cassandra here. The more that they can find out on the front end to
Mhm.
avoid issues like a bunch of bikes and not having a table, of course that helps, right?
And again, it was just me. In hindsight, I probably should have brought a CA because I didn't have Amber. Amber's normally the lady that does all that for us. Um, so yeah, so scrambled and scrambled and scrambled and whatever. But before you start, you always, even if you have like the most well like planned out thing and it all goes smoothly, you still have to pause first, even if it's only for 3 to 5 seconds in your head, and just, you know, for me, it's Lord help me through this. Lord speak through me. Let's go. Thank you for this opportunity. Because I want to start with a heart of gratitude for wherever I go. Because anytime I get the chance to share a message, I'm grateful for that. And we rocked right into it. Um, to be honest with you, this was not a workshop that I had like I did not have this one like oftentimes when we're reaching out, we have a stress workshop, we have a performance workshop, an athlete, we have these workshops pre-loaded that people can choose from. This was not one, so when Amber's like, what about speaking? So, okay, I'm going to bring lunch, but what am I going to say?
Right.
Like But and that's where Amber and I talked. And it's nice because Amber was a patient before she was our marketing coordinator. So she knows everything we're about at Essentials of Life Chiropractic. And she knows some of our differentiators, retention being one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've shared with you what our average PVA is. Um,
Why don't
well,
you
in
why don't you share with everybody?
a clinic as last year, our clinic as a whole averaged 180 visits for a PVA.
So
Um,
I know you don't like to toot your horn, but I'm going to force it. Okay, so as I coach chiropractors around the country, the national average for PVA is around 15. Just kind of depends on the year and whatnot. 15 visits, and a good clinic is going to be in the high 20s. Anything over 30 is going to be pretty darn good. Anybody over 50 is going to be in the top 5% in the country. So that's over 50. Yours is 180 something. Um, and how many people do you see a week in there in Andover?
as a clinic, we see 950.
Okay. So 900 to 1,000 people a week running through your clinic. And so I think that qualifies you to be able to speak on this topic of, keeping people. And I'm going to put in a shameless plug right here. Coming up here in the next week to 2 weeks, I'm going to have a two-part series on retention on my Cairo Feast podcast. So I've got two episodes on how to keep people. Because if you don't know how to keep people, you can do events like this, like Tony's sharing with us today, working at fitness clubs. I don't care what you're doing. If you can't keep them, you're just going to have to grind more events. And this is coming from somebody that keeps people for 180 visits or so. So one of the best in the business.
I mean, your back door has to be a lot smaller than your front door.
Yeah, that's right.
Um, so, but retaining, and as a chiropractor, I hate to say this, is not just about your chiropractic care.
Yeah,
That may be hard. We may have some people jump off the call right now, but yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah.
It's not. Yes, we're extremely skilled at what we offer to the community, the chiropractic care, the excellence clinical care, all of that. But if that was the only thing, that's not going to build that high. So the other part of this is it's not just about results, it's about retention, or it's actually about relationships. Because it's the relationships that you build with your patients and how well you can get them connected all around that builds retention, long-term retention. So Amber's like, can you craft something like that for uh, these things? And again, knowing that I'm not great at ideation, I found a great resource now called AI that is good at coming up with ideas. And I have
Right.
ChatGPT. I call her Shirley. So Shirley helped me. Actually came up with the title of it called Beyond Sessions, and it's all about building long-term relationships, like from sessions to relationships. Because I believe if you build that, you will have long like these trainers will have. I mean, is that not the goal?
Right. I mean,
Like,
as a trainer, I mean, you're jumping into the head of a trainer, and these trainers are typically in their 20s, right? They're 23-year-olds,
yeah,
26-year-olds, for the most part. What's their goal? What's their desire? What's their dream? And you have to jump inside of them, and then you need to help them make their dreams come true.
right.
Yeah.
And plain and simple, and this is an exact parallel with chiropractic. Are these people that you are serving going to get better results if they're with you longer or with you shorter?
Right on.
Uh, Okay. Unanimous, hands up, longer. Got it. How do we do that? Great. So and I can share my slides if you want. I can put them up. I don't know if you want me to do that or not,
Yeah, yeah. Why
but
don't you? I mean, we can. Yeah, that'd be great. And then,
so
if Tony, if you're okay with it, and you can tell me after the call too, if you're okay with it, and you're okay with sharing them, so that we can put them in the big fish vault or something like that, that would be great as well. But go ahead and share it right now.
um, yeah. So it's called Beyond Sessions, How to Build Long-Term Relationship with Clients. Obviously, I think long-term is supposed to be hyphenated, but whatever. Um, I like to keep, one thing I actually hate is when people read slides to you. So I like to keep it brief, bullet pointed, and then talk through each one. Um, like I was just saying, better retention equals better results all the time. If they're with you longer, they're going to get better results than if they're with you shorter. Chiropractic, personal trainers, exactly the same. Uh, the better experience someone has, the better results they have, the more reviews and referrals you're going to get. And that builds your credibility. And typically, when someone's leaving you you know what usually doesn't happen is someone leaves you a great review and then quits care. Like that, I don't, maybe that's happened a couple of times in practice, but that's not what usually happens. If they're writing a review, they're a fan.
Right.
They're excited about what's going on and they want to tell other people about it. And if they're telling other people and bringing more people, then they're going to stay there longer too. So, uh, you know, this is just a straight marketing ROI thing. New clients are a lot more expensive than it's expensive to get new clients. We need
Yeah.
to do it. We need to do it. But retaining current ones is a better strategy.
Right.
It's predictable income. We don't really have huge fluctuations in our monthly collections because the vast majority, the 90, 95 to 98% of our patients are like wellness care patients.
Well, and I
Um,
think it's important to note, Tony, your practice is 100% cash.
yes.
So these are people that are investing in their health by having their credit card, swiped every single month, ongoing. It's lifetime wellness is what you're promoting.
Yep.
So, and that's the same message that these trainers. So what just jabbed me when we were talking about this a couple months ago is, I mean, we are the same as these trainers. I mean, I believe our product is better, because if you got a crappy nervous system, you're not going to do a good job of working. Your body's
Right.
not going to respond to your workouts well. Your nervous system is the top of the food chain. I mean, it's the best, right? But whether you're a dentist and you want to share your message of dentistry and what people need to do to have their own teeth, man, you do not want to have your teeth in a jar next to your bed when you're 80. You want your own teeth. I mean, how do we do that? How do we get there? We want to take care of people their entire lives so that they don't have their teeth in a jar. So when you're speaking to dentists, you're talking their language and
Yep.
retaining patients and having regular care. Okay, not just brushing your teeth, but regular care where you're getting your teeth cleaned, you're getting professional help, all these things. Whether you're a dentist, whether you're a fitness trainer, it's the same message. So you're speaking exactly what these young kids, and they've probably never heard this message before. They've never been trained on this before. Now here you are, some chiropractor coming from the outside, training them better than these gyms are training them.
Right. Yeah. Um, so again, the message, and I actually started with talking with them. I'm like, there's so much overlap between what chiropractic and what personal trainers are here to do. We're all here to help improve the health and well-being of our communities. You know, for us, it's one adjustment at a time. For you, it's one workout at a time. But we're here for the same reasons.
Yeah.
And then finally, in that bullet point was, stronger retention leads to less burnout. Show of hands, how many people would rather adjust a patient they've seen for the last 10 years versus one that's brand new. Like I love them both, but I've developed such a relationship with these. I love seeing them. They've committed to me. I've committed to them. I'm their chiropractor through thick and thin. And in 10 years, we've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
And so, and this one will get there. Like my mindset for everyone that starts is you'll get here, but I can't imagine trying to build up all these startup relationships with like, I don't know. We've never really been like a Glowacki, like a new patient maven type clinic. We're much more about retention.
Yeah.
Let's see. This was a fun one. You know, this is chiropractic too. Like we assume clients leave because of lack of knowledge, of poor workouts, of bad experience, but they actually leave because the plan isn't clear, progress isn't visible, and they don't feel connected, right? The more connected someone is, the more progress they can see, or that you can show them to it. Because let's be honest, the vast majority of results that the person's going to get on their nervous system, they don't feel. But we have the insight station. We can visualize that for them. And we're very big on the plans. Uh, I don't care if someone's been there for a day, a month, or 15 years. They know where they're at in their progress and their plan and why they're at the frequency they're at. So I'm a big fan of that called
I'm a,
roadmap to recovery, the Bill Esteb's thing.
yeah.
Man, I have bought thousands of those over the years.
And
And the
he's
only reason I haven't made my own and branded it is because I'd have to straight up plagiarize it.
right, right. I'm going to add one to that list. Go back to that previous slide there. That's really good, man. That this is golden, you guys. That slide alone, because, and I'm going to add one to they actually leave because value isn't understood. And I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to throw myself under the bus. I had somebody leave my care. This was a year and a half ago, I think, something like that, because they told me that, and they told me this in like December. So like that's the time that people are kind of making decisions for their next year, right? It's like New Year's resolutions. I'm going to get a new gym membership. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. People are thinking about it. And this person told me, and they'd been under care for like 2.5 years, something like that. They told me, next year, I'm not going to be coming in next year. I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. They wanted me to get excited for that. I'm going to be trying something different. I'm going to be doing Pilates. I was told that doing Pilates is a better use of their financial resources than having their nervous system taken care of. That's what my patient told me. And I am sharing that with you guys because I'm just open and honest about my failures as much as my successes. That was horrific. That was a stab to my chest. That was like somebody stuck a knife in me and twisted it and just gutted me right there. And I realized immediately that I had never fully educated them well enough about the value,
Hmm.
taking the pressure off the central nervous system to allow your spine to control your organs and control all systems of the body better. And what kind of because a Pilates workout doesn't do that. So what are you talking about? I almost wanted to scream at the guy, and I didn't, but I tried to love him in the moment. But understanding the value is so important, and that means educating. And so if you're a trainer and you're working with somebody, and you need to express to them the value of this education that you're giving, the tweak in their form, changing their form just slightly. Man, I'm so glad that you are not doing it that way, and that we had the opportunity to change that form. That is such a difference maker, because if you kept doing it this other way, you would have blown your hamstring eventually. I don't know how long it would take, but it's eventually going to happen. Something like that. And then they
Yep.
can understand that. So anyway, sorry about my rant. I'll let you go to the next slide.
No worries. So then it's just the retention framework. So obviously we've set up like why retention is so important, and basically three pillars of long-term retention is those three things you see right there. And I go into each one of them. So with clear expectations, for us as docs, we do this in the day one, day two process, like where they are, where they're going, how long it's going to take. You know, and what I did was I actually brought a new patient packet from our office. Like this is a folder of all the stuff we have in there for them and the visuals. And I explained like this is where we use scans, posture scans, nervous system scans, and the whole evaluation that we do. It tells us where someone is on this chart. Here's what their goal is, and it's very easy. It's very simple to understand. It's going to take this many months, this many visits, this many progress scans. Let's go.
So you
Um,
were giving them a little snapshot into your practice.
yep,
So,
intentionally.
and I was planning on asking you that question because I know you want to put everything in terms of them as trainers, but somehow I know you're going to sneak in chiropractic into your message. So
Every time.
you're almost kind of putting them in the position of a patient in your office.
I will not go to a talk and not speak about chiropractic ever. I don't know how,
Right,
because otherwise, why am I there? I'm not the expert on what their brochures look like. I don't know. I'm just like, you know what you have. This is what I have, and this is how we do it. Take what I'm telling you, and it
right,
works, and then adapt it to what you have.
right.
Anywho, visual progress. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. That's why we have the nervous system scans in our office. We have progress exams where we redo ranges of motion, the scans, talk about. I mean, yes, it's not. I'm not one of those docs that like says I don't care about your symptoms. Like those matter because those are getting in the way of life, but they aren't the actual problem. They're getting in the way of stuff. They're pointing to issues, but we have the objective measures to be able to monitor this. But I just, these are a couple that they can do, like strength and mobility comparisons, body compositions, energy and I mean, energy and confidence are subjective. But like, I posed that to them, like, is that actually built into your plan for them of when are you going to stop and check progress and
Yep,
say, look how far we've come? Because this is something that I stole from a gym wall that we actually say at our Red Gala every year. You'll never appreciate how far you've come if you don't remember where you started. So always remember where you started, and they're going to forget.
yep,
So you got to remind them. Um,
yeah.
anyway,
That
uh,
that's a great little nugget there for all of you that are wondering, what do you say during table talk? Because we, as chiropractors, we want to say something of value for people every single time they're on our table. Why not ask them the question? Do you remember what your neck was like when you first came to me?
mhm,
Ask that question.
mhm.
And most of the time they do remember, oh man, I couldn't even move my head. Isn't it great to not be there anymore?
I mean that well, I'm not saying if you all have practice management software, the EHR says like that's one of our things we have in our EHR, like what brought them into the office, and that never comes off that record. That is there that I can reference back to at any time, even if it's 15 years later.
Yeah,
And it's just that, hey, aren't you glad you're where you started again? Um, so always remember where you started so you can appreciate the journey. And
beautiful.
then this one here is always just looking for ways to connect to them. Um, the stronger the connection is, the better the retention will be. But you also kind of like the patient you had recommended, you have to define that relationship. And it's happened right to the best of us. Like you're like, how in the world? Like where did I go? And you replay the tape and you're like, you know what? I haven't said anything about subluxation, adjustment, chiropractic in the last 5 months to this person. Well, duh. Maybe that's why they got that out of their head. So for me, in our office, table talk is you can start the conversation wherever you want. It better end with chiropractic or some event that we're doing like this. Like you know, you can check in with for these trainers. They can check in with people in between sessions, celebrating wins. Like if someone just hits a new PR, don't be like, all right, cool, take a rest. Like, did you just see that? That was your highest one you've ever did, and they might not have known that, right? They didn't look at what the setting was. They didn't look at the weights. They just did the rep.
Right.
Um, Hopefully these places are having events that they can invite them to. Uh, one for us here too. There's a phrase we use in our office: never missed a missed appointment. Because if you miss a missed appointment, that says two things: you don't matter, and I don't care.
Yes.
That's what that says. Um, if a patient comes in, missed their last appointment, and you don't call it out, they don't matter. You don't care.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now, and calling it out, you guys, it doesn't mean you have to make fun of the patient. Nobody wants to be belittled. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Nobody wants that. But just letting people know, hey, I missed you at your last appointment. Were you okay? Did
Right.
something happen?
Well,
Um,
I'm committed to getting them to their goals. Are you committed to this too? Like,
right.
yeah, again, you never missed a missed appointment, and our front desk is phenomenal about like we have an extreme even with that number of patient visits we see every every week. We still track percentage of missed appointments. Our CAs are bonused on that, and I used to bonus them on 4%, but they hit that way too often, so then I had to lower it to 2%.
Ooh.
Because if you hit a goal 50 out of 52 weeks a year, that's not a goal. That's like I brushed my teeth this morning. So you have to have anyway, so literally 2%. You got to get under 2%. And and I will say if that patient like reschedules, they can take that off as a missed appointment. For us, a missed appointment is a no call, no show. Um, for
Okay.
that week. Now, if I see them the next week, I'm going to call it out because I'm going to look and be like, "Yep, you missed your appointment last week." Make sure and you'll know when you got it down and in their head when patients know they're going to miss the next, like spring break comes up, they know they're going to miss, they pre-schedule, a makeup the following week. Great. Now I know that you get it, but I'm still going to call it out if you miss it, just to let you know that I still care. And last but not least, like life throws all sorts of curveballs at people, and sometimes you need to adapt and pivot with your care. That just happens. Um, oh, I don't even know if I can see this. This was on a bigger screen, obviously at the thing, and I had the retention flywheel here, and I had a handout for him. So it's it starts from the top, clear expectations. Start with that. Compliance. If they miss a workout, call it out. If they're not bringing their best, call it out. Results, celebrating those wins, all that builds trust, which will eventually help, start building your retention. The longer you're with someone, the better results that they have, the more referrals they send in, and then you get to start over with a new one and just keep cranking the wheel. So, uh, then I had just a closing thought, and then at the end, so this is something that I call a professional courtesy. Uh, so when going to speak to brokers, whatever. Um, you know, I like this person to have an experience in our office because otherwise they just, hard to get excited about something you actually haven't experienced. So, I'll say, in the beginning of the practice, I was meeting like with people like one on one. And, when I got to share what we do at our office, they got excited about it. I'm like, you know what? Just as a professional courtesy, I'm going to let you come in. We'll do a full evaluation on you just so you can see like how this works, how what we offer, and and then you'd be able to share that if someone has a question for you because it's really not fair. Because what I'm trying to do is truly educate my ambassadors in the community. And how else would they know that if they hadn't had an experience with it? So like I'll have them come in, and early on, I don't even have them fill in paperwork. I'm like, just come in. I'll show you the scans. We'll do a scan on you. And without any sort of history, what typically ended up happening many, many times is someone's like, oh man, well, how do I fix that? I'm like, oh, well, we just, and it drove the CAs nuts, but there were many times when I'm like, you know what? I just need a quick, whatever, 1 or 2 month plan printed out quick. And I guess we're going to have to get some paperwork on them before they leave the office. So that's a new patient starting right now. And they were always like, they just hate it when I do that. because that's not part of the system and the
Right,
structure.
right.
But that's how I work. So, you know, when you meet with people like this, people that you want to share your message, because I want these trainers to share it with their people, right? Because I told the trainers this, your the people you're training will be able to withstand your workouts better if they're in proper alignment, if their nervous system is clear, then their body will respond to what you're doing, and you won't get them dropping out because of pain or discomfort or dysfunction or all these things that they have to stop for because they physically can't go on. For many years, we have had a great partnership with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, and that puts a ton of stress on a body. And so, um, coming in there, I knew that. Actually, over the years, I used to be part of the like day one, but over time, I started asking to come in like at week 4 or 5 when people really started to feel it. Like I'm not talking like in their muscles, I'm talking like in their joints, in their back, in their hips, in their knees. I'm like, that's a sign. Uh, Probably something out of place. Listen, this this workout, and it was always funny because I'm like, show of hands, how many people think that this workout's going to put a big stress load on your body? And anyone that didn't raise their hand, because it's Minnesota and everyone's shy, I'm like, trainers, this one right here said the workout's not hard enough, and so called them out right there. But that's the thing is, obviously, I'm a huge proponent of physical fitness, strength training, all those things, athletics, all those things. It puts a stress load on your body.
Yeah,
And no amount of stretching or Pilates will take subluxation off a body. There is
right.
only one way you can do that.
Yes. And the body is always adapting to problems, and reshaping and reforming. And when those when those subluxations are still existing, the body is still adapting to those problems, and then it breaks down. And if there's one thing that gym owners, so let's go up the chain here, not the trainers, but the owner of the gym. Let's just say it's an entrepreneur somewhere or a general manager that's managing this place that gets bonused based on how many people are paying. One of the
Yep.
things they absolutely hate is when somebody gets hurt, and so then they have to pause their membership. I mean, that's like the kiss of death. Don't you hate that when
Yep.
you hear, oh, somebody is going to pause their care at your office because of whatever they're dealing with? No, and gyms don't want to hear that either. That they're hurt, and so therefore they're pausing their membership. They can't just pause their membership for no reason, but oftentimes an injury. Okay. Oh, I was in a car accident and I'm injured. I have a broken arm. I can't work out and it's going to be 2 months or whatever. Kind of pause my membership. Yes, you can. And so, obviously, trainers hate paused memberships too. So,
Yep.
this is a system that hates when people are injured. So, if you're giving them a solution to getting past their injury so they can get back into the gym, that makes the gym owner happy. Back under training again makes the trainer happy. Everything is happy again. If you can help them keep their clientele healthy and keep
Mhm.
them subluxation free so they're not re-injuring themselves.
Yes. So again, it was I had fun with it. I have fun every time we get to share and speak. But I would definitely look geographically next time of make sure that these are people around where the office is.
Yeah.
I would bring a staff member to help with all of the chaos of it, because I didn't have an opportunity to collect leads at the end, so I would have changed that. Um,
Yeah.
but it was great. I had a lot of enjoyment doing it, a lot of fulfillment doing it. I got a lot of great feedback from them afterwards. So, for us, this is sowing good seeds in our community. We will see people coming in from that. The more people hear about it, you've probably been told that people have to hear about things 7 times, 7 different ways before they, or more, before they actually take action on it.
Yeah. And if you have a way to stay connected to those people, I think you just mentioned getting contact information and probably getting approval from their boss, their supervisor.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to send out a health tip once a month to your trainers, just giving them, kind of some structural things that they can learn that are going to help them do their job better. I would love to be able to send that to them. Is that okay? Oh yeah, it sounds great. So now you get them on a tickler of, once a month, I'm just putting my face again in front of them and giving them some advice that's going to help them do their job better and retain clients better. And likewise, I'm putting my face in front of them. So if they have an injured client, they're going to think of me right then. Uh,
Mhm.
that's a wonderful thing. You mentioned, having a helper. I think it's a great idea to have a staff member go to the spot, and there always has to be a contact person. I don't know, who was your main contact person that you talked to at the gym? Was it like the gym manager or
I think he was like the trainer manager. He
trainer man?
oversees all the trainers, the head trainer, something.
Okay, so maybe having a staff member meet that training manager over there and find out, okay, what room are we going to be in? Where are we going to be at? What's the process? Do we have access to electricity? I've got a projector, I've got this, I've got that. How are we going to show this? Just so you can kind of eliminate some of those, challenges from the get-go. But like we said at the beginning of this, you and I, we go on the fly sometimes and just make stuff happen. But it's sure a lot less stressful if you know stuff is going to be done well.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to mention to anybody here, if you've got anything, this may have brought up other questions that you might have. Jump in the chat and throw a question in the chat, or just unmute yourself and ask the question. That's fine. So go ahead and do that now because we just have a few more minutes. I'm going to expand on this just for a moment as people are maybe thinking about what question they want to throw in here. But what if, okay, you talk about brokers of people. I
Hmm.
love that. That should almost be the title of a podcast episode or something like that. Brokers of people, because you want access to those people and
Right.
to help those people. What about realtors? Okay, you got a sales manager in charge of 20 realtors. And realtors, what do? They are putting people in a new home in your community. And if
Yes.
they're new to the area, guess what they don't have yet? They probably don't have a chiropractor in that area. They do, 40 miles away or even 3 miles away. I had somebody just recently start care in my office, left a chiropractor that they've been with for 14 years because it was 2 miles further. Two
Wow.
miles. They're now coming to me because I'm 2 miles closer than the doctor that they were going to that they saw for 14 years. So anyway,
Mm.
that's crazy to me. But they don't have a chiropractor in your area, and the realtors. What if they handed a health pass to every single new home? Hey, here's a gift from my local chiropractor. This guy is awesome, or this gal is phenomenal. Be a part of that. So, I mean, there's so many tentacles to this. You mentioned dentists, optometrists, people that are brokers of people, even insurance agents are always doing new policies for people in their area. So I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that or any other suggestions on ways that we could expand this.
Like I said, I'm not the ideas person. Clearly, one of your working geniuses is ideation, which is what is awesome. Yeah, so I just when someone gives me say, "Hey, this is a good idea," go do it. Then I just go run with it. Like here's the football. Go
Right.
run in the end zone.
Here you
Okay,
go.
I can do
Run
that.
and go. And Tony's a very generous guy to be on this boot camp and share this information with us. I really appreciate it, Tony. That speaks volumes for who you are and what you mean to the profession, so that you just want to help other people. So thanks for being willing to do it. All right, so there you have it, everybody. How about that? Wow, a lot of just awesome practice building nuggets in there, just life building nuggets, community building nuggets. My goodness. we are going to have our entire team listen to this boot camp. And so I hope that you share it with other people. It's all about making our profession better, making your practice better, making your communities better, helping more people. That's what this is all about. And hopefully, this kind of pricked your brain a little bit, thinking about ways that you can expand on this idea that Tony just shared with you at no cost to you. This was free, so take this and take action on it. That's the biggest problem is we hear good things, we like the idea, and then we put it on the list to do and we never get to it. Put it on your list to do today. Take the first step. Take action right now so that you can actually put into action what you were just shared. And if you get some rejection, don't worry. There's other gyms. So keep going until you find a gym that works and you can make this happen. So enjoy this. Keep listening to it. We'll see you on the next episode. Stay hungry, my friends. And as always, pay it forward.